and welcome to Lisa's Stamp Studio. I'm Lisa Curcio.
And my name is Gina Hawley, also known as her daughter.
Today is Monday. It is December 5th. The year is 2022. We are streaming live right here on YouTube. Whether you are watching the replay or you are here with us live, we are thrilled that you're here tonight.
You're not going to want to miss tonight, too, because not only do we have an awesome Christmas card that you can make in 5 minutes using one layout, we also have 3 nights of giveaways.
We sure do, and we'll talk a little bit about that in just a minute, so we're super glad that you're here with us. Now, a couple things about tonight's live stream before we get started. We want to tell you all about the project sheet for tonight's projects.
Yeah, so you're going to want to download that in the video description below. That's going to include cutting dimensions, full color photos, and a complete supply list for all 6 of the cards that we have tonight.
Yeah, and I'll just say she upstaged me with a bonus project.
No. That's because I thought you had everything in this studio and you didn't have this one set.
So, she made a bonus project for you tonight that she's going to demonstrate. So we've got lots of inspiration. While the cards tonight have a Christmas theme, we have several others that don't to show you how to use the simple layout all year round. Now, we also want to take a moment to introduce you to tonight's moderators because she's here. We have Bob Curcio. You'll see his name in blue off to the side, better known as I call him Bob the Builder.
Or my dad.
We also have Marian Lenhart.
Yes, and if you have a stamping question, Marian is awesome at those. She's actually on our Stamp Studio team here at Lisa's Stamp Studio. So if you have a question, reach out to her. But if your question does go unanswered, just reach out to us at lisastampstudio.com and click on that contact tab, and we'd be happy to get back to you.
We sure will. Now, let's talk about the big news in the room. Okay, so I'm going to switch places with you really, really quick. The 3 nights of giveaways. So for the next 3 live streams in December, I am going to be giving away 4 random product prize bundles. These are just like random products that you're going to love, brand new. Adhesives and embellishments, all kinds of goodies that I'm going to stick in the mail to you. So here is how you enter.
Every time that you hear Santa say, ho, 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 just like that, it's giveaway time. I'll let you know that it's giveaway number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. And then all you have to do is put your name in the live chat comment and I'll throw it up on the screen, just a random one. We're just going to give you some time to do that. So when that happens during tonight's project, go ahead and do that.
To claim your prize then, when your name comes up on the screen, you will need to click the contact button over at lisastampstudio.com. I need your full name and your shipping address. I'm so sorry, but it's U.S. residents only, but we love you all.
We do.
We love you all. So without further ado, let's get started tonight.
Let's go.
All right, let me move those buttons out of the way. All right, let's get started with the card base first.
Yes.
I am using, hold on, I'm grabbing it off a separate table here, Poppy Parade.
And I'm using basic white.
Okay, I did 4 1/4 by 11.
Same.
Okay, I scored it in half at 5.5 inches. We love that bone folder.
Yes,
I can't do anything straight, so it gives me a chance to kind of make sure those ends are even.
Exactly.
And make sure they're nice and crisp. Now, all of our cards have the same layout, as we said.
Exactly.
But you gussied yours up just a tad more on this one.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so why don't you explain this bonus one that you're demonstrating?
Well, like I said, you have everything.
I thought I had everything, but I don't.
But you don't have that one set. So I had to come up with a last-minute card. And, y'all, I really did. Like, an hour and a half ago, I did. All right. Did. So we're going to work on our base. And I have a really good saving technique for you. It's going to save your paper. It's going to save you some money. So let me show you how to do that real quick. So I actually did a double layer. And instead of cutting a larger layer for this other DSP, all I did was cut half strips. So it's 1/2 inch wide. And all I need to do now is go ahead and add some adhesive down the sides here on both sides. So you're just going to see me do that now. And then all I'm going to do is make sure this is flipped over. And I'm going to do my best to line this up so just enough is hanging off. It looks like I cut a little bit too much.
I did it on purpose so you could trim it.
Perfect.
So this is one of my tips. How many times have you cut these little strips and they're just a smidgen off and it's so noticeable? So if you turn this over from the other side, you can make sure the margins are the same on both sides. Are you not worried about that?
No. That's very smart. Again, like I said, I designed this an hour and a half ago, and she was helping me cut everything.
But you know what? This is how simple the layout is.
Yes.
Because if you're like a lot of us right now, we're so busy in the Christmas mode, right?
Exactly.
And we're like,
oh no, this is not what I wanted. I told you this is going to go bad.
No, it's not going to go bad. Let me show you. Okay, because this is brushed metallic paper, we're going to do it this way. So let's see where we're going to go.
You're going to be smarter than me.
Okay,
Perfect.
and you know what? Because we cut it longer on purpose, I'm trying not to get my head in your camera view. All right, I'm looking here. We're going to push. It brushed metallic, so she didn't push it down really hard. But now you can mimic the depth on this side.
That's
go
fine.
ahead,
Okay,
go for it.
there we go.
We learn as we go, don't we?
I just needed the expert.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You've been stamping forever.
I know, but you're the expert.
So that little extra, you're going to take your paper snips.
Yep.
And you're going to use that paper as a guide. And I love this tip because you're not going to waste all that pretty paper in an area you're not going to see.
I love that.
Right? And this means you're not going to miss a little smidgen.
Especially when you're using paper such as beautiful as the brushed metallic.
That's pretty.
Here. I don't want to waste that.
You know, that comes in rose gold and that brushed gold. It's just so pretty.
It.
Now, we use a pair of sticky scissors here in the studio. We designate them with ribbon, which means if anything has adhesive on it, don't you dare gunk up the good ones.
Don't do it. Yeah.
So that's what we got there. Now, mine's a little bit different. Now, I've pulled a piece of Designer Series paper out. This comes from Celebrate Everything. Now, this is a host exclusive Designer Series paper pack, which means if you have a large order of $150 or more before shipping and tax, you have the ability to redeem Stampin' Rewards, which is free product. Mm-hmm. Now, as much as I love black and white, which I always talk about in my live streams, I decided to gussy this up a little bit. Let me show you what I did. I'm using the alcohol-based Stampin' Blends marker in Granny Apple Green. Now, I wanted to add a little color, but I didn't want it to be overpowering. I'm going to use that chisel tip, which is the smaller one, and you don't even have to color these all in. Now, I'm not going to make you watch me do the whole thing because, of course, I've got some in. What a lot of people don't realize is that you can use alcohol-based markers as a regular coloring medium.
Yes, exactly.
Which means you don't have to actually use them in a blended fashion. Well, I did add some additional colors, and I just want to go over that with you because when I show you the colored one, I don't think you're going to be able to see it as well. I've got Light Pool Party here, and I'm going to color those with the stars. And again, I did it randomly. And then last but not least, I brought in that Poppy Parade. Well, look at that color coordination.
Love it.
Now, this is the beauty of Stampin' Up! Products is the color coordination. So you don't ever have to worry about whether they match. They do. So I'm going to go ahead and use that light shade. And you see that little star right there? We're going to color those in. Now, I did do that ahead of time, and I kept this color the smallest area because I was really afraid it would overpower the card.
That looks amazing.
Doesn't that look fun? It's just another way to use your black and white papers.
Exactly. So let's add those to our bases, eh?
Okay, so I've got your adhesive over here for some reason. Silicone craft sheet because I'm messy with my adhesive and glue. Anybody else? Yes. So I'm going to keep that underneath me, and that's going to allow me to make sure that if I get a little zealous with that adhesive, it's going to fall there where it will not stick versus on my work surface because then I fight that the whole time I'm creating, and I can't stand that.
And I will say the sideways technique that you teach here
Thank you, honey.
is very helpful.
So my fold is at the top because I can't do anything straight, especially vertically. So if I hold it sideways, I have a better chance of getting an equal margin on both sides. So I'm looking here at the top and the bottom where my index fingers are pointing, and I'm just doing my best to align it. And then once I'm happy, we'll let it go and we'll press that in place. But of course, it's a vertical card, which allows you to try to keep those equal borders. So did you see the difference in the cutting dimensions? This was what, Gina? 3.5?
3.5.
Okay, by 5.5.
Yep.
Because this one's not in your project sheet, I wanted to point that out with that pretty paper. Okay, what's next?
All right, next, let's get to designing some fun. So part of this layout that we have is we need tags.
Right.
So we are using the TaylorMade tags.
Yep.
They're amazing. Not only are they awesome for this project, they're awesome for literally making a tag. And we are in the season of tag making.
We sure are. We sure are. And just spoiler alert, they got something like that coming up in a couple
weeks.
They do. So I'm going to tell you right now, you will not be disappointed in this. So there's two different styles of the tops here. So very traditional, a little bit more scalloped. Mm-hmm. There's graduated sizes, which means if you want to layer them,
you can.
Yes, the holes are already pre-done for you. And if you want grommets,
do it.
Guess what?
Yeah.
Wait to see all the fun we've got for you tonight. All right, so why don't you start with yours?
All right. I have a little layering that I need to do.
Oh, let's go for it.
Okay. So first things first, I need to go ahead and do some two-step stamping.
Okay.
I'm using Trees for Sale. Now, this does have coordinating dies.
They did.
They did.
It did. It was actually part of the Perfect Partners promotion.
So they did.
They did. It was actually in the clearance rack, and I just looked before we went live. Sold out.
Well, if you have them, you're in luck. If you don't, that's okay.
The stamp set's available.
Because the stamp set's available, and it's amazing.
Right, and that's what we used tonight was the set.
Exactly. I did use the dies because I cheated a little bit, but you can fussy
cut it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I love that set. Timeless.
Timeless, absolutely. So what I have is the larger of the 3 trees that are in that set. You will see a solid image, and then you'll see an outline image.
Right.
And this is what we're going to call 2-step stamping. So I'm just going to take some scratch paper here, and I'm going to bring out my garden green. And this is basically how you're going to do it. You're going to take that solid image first. I'm going to ink that up just like this.
Oh, Christmas colors.
And then I'm going to stamp off once and then move it to my paper. Stamp, lift.
Love it.
You get that cute technique. And now what we're going to do is take that outline image. This is more of a depth image. And instead of stamping, oh, you can see I missed. Instead of stamping off right away, I'm going right over top, trying to get my head in this.
Your head's in the camera. It's okay.
And then all I'm going to do is stamp right over top of it.
You know, I'm feeling really good your head got in the camera because you're like 30-something years my junior.
I know.
It's hard.
It's hard.
But look at that. Isn't that sharp? And
Yes.
it's such a classy looking tree, and it was super simple.
And like I said, if you have the dies, die cut it. If you don't, fussy cut it's easy.
Absolutely.
Promise.
Absolutely. Now, are you doing any others?
I am doing some other stamping.
Okay.
So I'm going to get that done so you can do yours.
Okay.
In that same set, there is a smaller tree.
Okay.
So I brought that out. I'm not doing the dimensions.
Okay, so you're not doing the 2-step part.
Right. I'm just going to do the solid image, the outline image. So I'm going to ink that up, and I'm actually going to stamp 2 of these. They're going to fall off the tag here and make sure my tag is straight because we don't want falling over trees. All I'm going to do is stamp one here.
Don't you love this grid paper for that?
Absolutely do.
So the grid paper comes larger, like 18 inches. And, of course, this is the small grid sheets. Love this because it keeps your work surface clean. Oh, how cute.
So it's going to
And it helps you with those grid lines to make things straight.
Exactly.
Awesome. I noticed you made them kind of high.
I made them high because I'm going to make some snowbanks. My favorite thing to do this time of year. So you actually do have the snowbank dimensions in your project sheet because you will see that the card I'm making for you tonight looks exactly the same as another card that I made. I just switched out the set.
Images.
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
Fantastic. This is great so they can use what they have at home.
Yes, but this is 2.5 inches wide. And for a snowbank, all you need to do is tear. And it is probably one of my absolute favorite stress relievers to do. Because, you know, when I'm just a little bit mad, you just tear. And then all
tear
you do
towards you.
Towards me. So you get that really cool frayed technique. I don't know if you can see it or not. But you get a really cool frayed technique. And then for the second one, I'm going to tear lower.
Different depths.
Yep. So I want to create that depth pattern. And that might be good, but I actually think I want them a little closer. So you just tear a little bit more.
Can I show them a trick?
Absolutely.
Don't throw these away.
You can use them again.
Flip them over. So you've got the exact same thing replicated for your next tag.
Yep.
Because Stampin' Up! Colors their cardstock all the way through, which really is not a great representation with white.
Exactly.
If it was green or red, guess what? You're going to rip it, and what color is it going to be?
Still going to be green or red.
Right. So you see no white like you do with other competing products that have cardstock.
Exactly. So I'm going to do one last thing, and then you can do yours. I just need mine to dry. I'm using Linka Stella. You will see me shaking it up a little bit.
I love it.
I'm going to pull that off. I'm going to get it started here on my scratch paper to make it work. And then all I'm going to do here is add some streaks. And what that's going to do is add some glitter to my snowbanks.
I love this. No mess.
No mess.
No fuss.
No fuss. Easy. Kids can do it. You can do it.
Yeah. Give them a tip about the Wink of Stella.
Yes, you're going to want to make sure it's stored upright.
Right.
Whenever you're storing it, because that means that when you use it, it'll
dispense properly.
All the glitter won't fall on your paper.
Correct.
Yeah.
It does have type of an alcohol kind of base to it, so it dries very quickly.
Exactly. So I'm just push that off the side,
and you can go for it. Okay, so here's my tag, and I'm doing something completely different than what she's doing. Oh, but you know what?
It's time anyway.
Okay, so this is what we've got. Fancy software here. It's taken every single person that is in the live chat, and it's randomly selecting one of you.
Correct.
To be the winner.
All you have to do is type your name into the live chat. You
now.
have to be in the live chat.
Right.
So do it right now.
So right now.
And in about 60 seconds, it'll randomly select somebody.
Right? So go ahead and do that. I'm going to start stamping while you put your name in the live chat. I see you starting to do that. Awesome. Okay, here we go. I'm using black Memento ink, which is a great indication to you. Not only is it my favorite black, but I'm also going to be using alcohol-based markers. Now I'm going to be stamping directly on the tag. Oh, look at that little Coach light. Okay, I'll show you where it's from in just a minute. Remember I told you I don't do anything straight? So I am
Looks like we got a winner.
We do?
Yes.
Who is it?
It looks like it's Gloria Lucero.
Yay, Gloria!
Make sure you reach out to us at lisastampstudio.com. Click that contact tab. Send us your name and your address, shipping address, and we'll get you some goodies.
Yeah, I can't wait. Congratulations, Gloria. All right, I'm making it up. I'm turning that tag sideways because I can't do anything straight. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to stamp. That's going to show me that this is going to be straight. Okay, so I'm taking that off camera to clean it, but I'm also bringing in a scrap piece of basic white cardstock, and look at this cute little mouse image. All right, this comes from another Host exclusive stamp set, and I normally don't do this, but this time of year,
They're so cute.
I know people are ordering lots because they're doing things for the holidays. This is called caroling mice.
Right.
So look at those cute little adorable images. So here we got one of our mice. I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to stamp him here, okay? Adorable, easy to color because it's a nice chunky image. Definitely one the kids can use. You know what I love about this too? Any coloring medium you want. So watercolor pencils, color pencils, markers, whatever. Now, I am not going to color this one because I did do it ahead of time. I'll talk you through it. But I do want to talk to you about this. Now, there's a couple things that stress people out with alcohol markers. It's these little tiny areas. All right, so let's talk about those little tiny areas. I decided to use the smoky slate combination, which is the light and the dark. So what I'm trying to do now is just get some depth in this image without having to go crazy about where to come outside the lines. So we're going to come into the light, but I'm going to be careful to use that chiseled end. And I'm going to use here at the top, and I'm just going to color this in like I would a regular marker. Now, one thing about alcohol-based markers is you need to remember they have an alcohol base, which means it's going to bleed a little bit as it spreads and it dries. So I'm just going to work on one side here so you get an idea of what I'm doing. I'm just going to stop. That layer needs to have the alcohol evaporate. Otherwise, you got a hot mess on your hands.
Yes, you do.
Right? While that's happening, this is where I like to do my other light work. And this time I'm coming in with the light pool party. Now I'm going to move you guys in a little bit closer, okay? Because I think you can see a little bit better. There we go. Let that focus. You see here inside the light? Oftentimes it's just like too white and doesn't look real. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a little bit here and a little bit here right inside that glass pane. Now, as this dries, it's going to become lighter and look more realistic. So I'm going to switch over now to the Poppy Parade, and I want to give you a couple shading tips. Obviously, this is very tiny, so let's talk about the bow very quickly. You're going to color in the bow just like you normally would. This is the lightest shade, okay? You need to let this process just like you would, like I talked here at the top. Now, while that's sitting, let's talk about those narrow areas. Super hard for us to get color in there, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to give you a really great tip. What you're going to do is you are literally going to create some dots. So I just kind of dot it on there because remember it's going to spread, right? And I want a little bit here across the bottom, and I'm just going to put a little bit here across the sides. Let it sit, let it process. Dark, we're going to do the same thing. See those little cheat marks right there? I'm going to make it dark underneath here. I'm going to add a little bit.
Yes.
You don't want the dark to be very obvious, especially with dots, right? So as that's had time to process, I'm going to come in now and I'm going to pull with the light one from the dark into the light. And I'm going to go over it again with little dots to bring all this together. You don't have to pull it all the way across.
Correct.
Now let me show you the one that I did ahead of time, which is here. So I used that exact same concept here at the bottom that I did here in the light to give that a little depth to that light fixture. All right, and then, remember my little mouse? Well, I colored him.
Ah, so cute.
Or her.
Rosy cheeks.
Isn't it adorable? And I used just regular paper snips to cut this out.
Perfect.
Trust me, it wasn't hard.
Yeah.
And if you hate going around little areas,
don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to mount it on the same color paper that you stamped it on, it's going to virtually be invisible.
Exactly.
So I'll come back to this in a minute and you go for, I want to see what you're going to do with that.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and assemble our scene that we have going on here. what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add lots of dimension. If you know me, you've seen me a lot, I love dimension. So I'm a dimensional girl.
I'm going to take you out of life mode, okay?
I have a mini dimensional. So we have large dimensionals and we have small dimensionals. If you do not have the minis, what you can do is take your paper snips. I'm going to do it right here for you.
Sticky scissors.
And sticky scissors. And all you're going to do is cut right in half. Right there. And that's how you get a smaller dimensional from the two. It makes it awesome when you have really awkward angles as well. So all I'm doing here is I'm going to take that and I'm going to line this up just like this, giving that some dimension. You can see that done right there.
That's really cool.
Now what I'm going to do is take my larger dimensionals and I'm going to add to the back of that larger piece.
And I noticed you're careful to add them to the taller panel.
Exactly, because they are larger.
And you don't want an elevation difference, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And then all I'm going to do is line this up kind of right about here towards the bottom.
So you're keeping that really cute stitching around that tag.
Yes. And then if you remember, I did do this. I cut it out. I actually fussy cut this one, but if you have the dies, lucky. If not, it's not hard to do. I'm going to go ahead and take my silicone craft sheet and I'm going to do a little bit of Stampin' Seal. I'm going to tuck that right underneath so it's centered.
So cute.
And then little icing on the cake here. I have this trees for sale sign. It's absolutely adorable. All I'm going to do here is kind of see where I want it. And I'm going to show you this real quick. You can see there's a dimension difference here.
Right.
Which means I'm going to need to build this up more than just one dimensional.
Right.
So what I do is I'm using double dimensionals here. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to put your dimensionals down, peel off the backings, and then what you're going to do is take another set of dimensionals and layer those right on top.
Making it taller.
Yes.
So that's going to compensate for this has already been raised so that it doesn't sink at the top.
Yes. I guess the rule of thumb is for however many dimensionals you have layered here, you need to do an extra one for whatever you lay on top of it.
Correct. Very, very good.
Yes.
And you just make that look so easy because you don't have arthritis.
So I'm going to stick that guy right
so
about
cute.
there.
Now that is part of the stamp set, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, this is super cute. But I know you're not done with that
I'm
yet.
not quite done yet.
So while you get your next thing out, I'm going to move you over. You stole my adhesive, but I'm going to take it back. We each have our own, and we always use the same one.
It's just easier to grab from the right. Yeah.
All right. So you remember my little mouse? Okay. So I am going to take dimensionals as well. Now, I know that I want some dimension to this. What's the word I'm trying to say? Beyond just keeping him here. So I'm going to put the dimensionals here on this one side primarily because I know part of this is going to hang off. So I'm going to kind of cluster them together. Unlike Gina, I have basal joint arthritis and it's very hard to peel. So I'm going to use my take your pick tool. Can't live without this thing. It's got different attachments that come with it. That's the paper piercing tool attachment. I'm going to peel those little babies right off, make my life easy. And then what I'm going to do is situate my mouse here. So some of it is actually hanging off my tag. All right. Now I'm going to wait for you when I go a little bit further. You go for it.
Awesome. Okay. So what is awesome in that die tag set is you do get these little tiny toppers.
I know, I have one too.
I know you have one too. So I'm going to I need to put that on now because of my next step.
Gotcha.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over and add some of our precision tip glue bottle glue.
Let's talk about this first.
Yes.
So this comes in our online store. This is really dirty because we use it all the time. This is the multi-purpose liquid glue. We love it because it's very strong. It dries quickly, but the tip on this, as you can see, is really kind of big for these little tiny projects. So we got these.
Yes, and this is in our craft room favorites.
Yep.
You can find that at lisastampstudio.com. Click on shop, then craft room favorites. We have a plethora of things that we enjoy to use in our stamp room that aid us when crafting that are not Stampin' Up! Products. And this is one of them. It's a precision tip glue bottle. And what it does is make really, really tiny glue dots. Do you want to show them how that does?
Yep. I poured this inside of here. It's like a ketchup bottle. You got to be patient because it's thick.
Yeah.
But watch. So I'm talking so tiny, so tiny. And here's the other thing. If it gets kind of a lot of gluey on the tip, is that a word?
Gluey.
Gluey. Just wipe it off on your silicone craft sheet. But what it allows me to do is add a little tiny glue to those little tiny areas. I can't do the dexterity like she can because I'm old. So I'm going to use my little putty tip on my Take Your Pick tool to help me. That straight edge is going to go here at the top. And this is where liquid glue is your best friend, because then you can use this to kind of wiggle a little, little wiggle room left and right. Yep. Now let's talk about this. This is going to dry and it's going to turn opaque. Yep. And when it does, it just rubs right off. So you don't have to worry about taking it to the sink. I can't be bothered with leaving the stamp table. Can you?
No, I cannot.
All right, what are you doing next?
All right, what's next is, I think we need some dimension up here, some height. So we're going to fill in that space so we don't have as much of that white space. I'm using basic gray. And inside the stamp set, you do get these awesome little lights on a string. So I'm going to be using that. You can use it simply just right across, or you can do a crisscross method, which is what I'm going to do here.
Cute.
So I'm just going to open this up. I'm going to ink this guy up right at here. And then I'm going to use that awesome photopolymer stamp set.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, seriously. So I can see where I'm putting this. I'm going to angle it right about there, firm even pressure.
Now, photopolymer is a clear image stamp, which means when you ink it, it's going to turn the color of the ink, which makes placement lickety-split easy. Yes. Especially if you're a new stamper. Love these, and I love them for my greetings because it makes me look like I can think straight.
Yes, exactly. So it aids me really right now when I'm trying to do that crisscross technique, so I don't get two bulbs on top of each other.
Oh, this is going to be adorable.
Looks just like that.
And you know what I love about that? That fills in the top really nicely without overpowering your tag.
Exactly.
So are you going to color those?
No, I'm actually going to take the easy route. AKA the bling route.
Oh,
we don't do anything at the stamp studio without some bling. So these are the festive pearls. I love them. They come in 4 different colors. You have your red, you have your light blue, you have silver, and your gold.
Believe it or not, that is supposed to be soft succulent, but I think they go for blue, don't you?
Yeah, it definitely has that blue undertone to it.
I love that. They are going to go with lots of projects. And guess what? While you put those on, that product is in the current mini catalog and not retiring. It's being carried over because that is how popular these have become.
You want to grab that.
These fit perfectly.
They absolutely do. And the best part is that they have mini glue dots already on the back of them. So I don't need to mess with adhesive.
So cute.
So I'm just filling those in.
I love it because now it's brought continuity between your bling and your brushed metallic paper here.
Exactly.
Which is going to coordinate with the card base.
And to be honest, can you have too much bling?
Not at Christmas.
Questionable. Yeah.
I don't think so. It's really, really, really pretty. I love it. Now next, what we've got is some twine. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that we both did ours a little bit different, and we love to be able to provide you with some ideas.
Oh,
there we go. All right.
Giveaway number 2. All right. So giveaway number 2, if you're with us in the live chat right now, put your name in the comment section. In about 60 seconds, our software will randomly select someone who's won.
Right. So it's going to be giveaway number 2. Giveaway number 2. All right. All right. Hurry up. Get your names in there. We love all the little words and all the little sounds. Isn't it fun? All right. Here comes your ho, ho, ho. All right. Here's your baker's twine. I'm doing mine different than Gina. So this is going to be for the top of the tag. I am going to fold this in half, the ends just relatively even. I want to loop at the top. I'm going to go from the front of the tag to the back. So if you've ever watched and looked at tags and go, how did they get the front look so pretty? This is how. Keep yourself a nice tail, but open up your loop. You're going to put those raw ends through there and you're going to pull them to the back. And that gives you that little tiny tie here in the front with no bulk whatsoever. Do we have a winner?
I think we do.
Oh, it's still scrolling.
There it is.
Oh, there it
I
is.
saw it pop up. Alana Newman, congratulations.
Hey, Alana.
Go ahead and reach out to us at lisastampstudio.com. Click on that contact tab. Just email us your current shipping address and we'll send you some fun goodies in the mail.
Oh, congratulations to you, Alana. Awesome. So obviously, I'm keeping my tag simple, but Gina did hers a little bit different. And I cannot wait to have her show you what she did. Now, Gina, you decided not to use baker's twine.
Yes.
Right? What did you do?
I am using crinkled ribbon. This is red ribbon. This is out, right? It's no longer available.
It's in the mini catalog. It is retiring. Whether it's in stock or not.
I don't think it is. I think
it's already gone?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I feel like a lot of people have this as it was a staple item. If you don't have it, it's okay. You can use any red ribbon or the awesome ribbon coloring technique. We have a short on that here on our YouTube channel. You're going to want to see that because all we do is take an alcohol marker and we color it.
I'm going to stop you. You didn't explain to them how you got that through that little hole.
Oh, I have to do it again. It was
No,
actually
you don't
difficult.
you don't have to do it again, but
All
you
right.
started it, right?
So what I did was I'll just do it again. Here. Okay, so I folded it in half. I'm going to create a loop like you did.
Right.
So I'm going to put that here.
You're working near the top.
Yep, exactly. And I'm going to when I take your pick tool, you can use the pokey end or you can switch it out and use the stylus tool. And all I'm going to do is pull that through.
Be gentle, because remember, you don't want to rip it, right?
Yeah, and it's paper.
And you're going from front to back as well.
I am.
But you added a little extra.
I did, because I thought it was going to be a lot of red on that designer paper that I put down. Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to do is once I tighten this up.
Pull one end at a time.
Especially with thick ribbon.
Yeah, you don't want to rip that small little area that's between the hole and the top.
It's not very thick at all.
No, so one strand at a time. Pull that.
And then I'm using white baker's twine. All I'm doing is folding that in half. This is what, about 8 inches?
Yeah, about it.
And that just helps me have something to hold on to be honest with you. And then all I'm going to do is tie this into a knot right above that red knot.
Now, normally, I have seen where the ribbon has gone through the hole singly and then they cinch it. But I love this double knot look. I think it's really classy and it adds a lot of texture here to the card. So she's going to open up those ends. You can trim them as short as you want. Of course, you can trim your ribbon, all those little fun things you can do. Now, let's go back here to the card base because I have one more thing I'm going to do on mine. So while Gina's giving hers a haircut, this is what we worked on earlier. Here is the tag. Now, you're going to notice that I have quite a bit of white on this designer series paper, and my tag is primarily white.
Exactly.
I was concerned with dimensionals, which are only 1/16 of an inch difference, it being a little bit too shallow and too white. And of course, I could have added some ink around the edges, but I thought, let's try something fun. So that's where these came in. These are the foam adhesive strips. You get 2 big package strips inside the package itself. I'm going to pull these off. And I'm going to work backwards. Now, this is why I love these. These are 1/8 of an inch versus the 1/16, which is what the dimensionals are. I am avoiding those stitched areas because they're a little bit open holes. I don't want this to poke through or cover them up. And I am tacking this down. Now, you're going to see, I'm not even going to fuss with cutting it. I'm just going to use the whole length to itself. Now, very important. You see this area right here? That is going to sag, and I don't want it to sag. Now, you might be thinking you can put dimensionals there. I'm looking for those sticky scissors. And I'm not a fan of that because of the depth difference.
There's difference.
So I'm just going to put a little something here because there's nothing more embarrassing than you get your card in the mail and it comes out looking all wonky on the other end. So I'm just going to get that a little poke, and then I'm going to pull this up. And doesn't that figure? It doesn't want to stay because
you're live.
Yeah, of course. You know, when you craft all by yourself, everything goes just wonderful. Okay, so I got a little curve there. You guys are going to forgive me. This, for my card, and I know I'm working on your angle here, is going to go down here near the bottom on the right-hand side. I'm allowing room at the top here because I do want some longer strands. I was going to use your scissors, because I think I lost mine. And I'm going to give that a little bit of a cut. So that gives me this, but it needed a greeting.
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
I did this ahead of time.
Oh, cute.
So I just used the words Mary, Mary from another stamp set. This was North Pole Mischief, which I think is still in stock.
I think so too.
It's on the last chance list.
And don't be afraid to mix and match your greetings
Absolutely.
from sets. If you have multiple sets, it's great.
But I got to talk to you about something. Do you see how deep this is here? Okay, so I decided to do this. I am going to use my silicone craft sheet to my advantage. I'm going to flip this over. I am going to use my adhesive and little tiny little strips, which is what I love about the Stampin' Seal Plus. Anything that may show, I can curl to the back, and I am going to add it here near the top. That black brings continuity between here, the black and white paper.
Love it.
Now, if you're worried about this, guess what we can do? We can double up dimensionals.
Yes.
Okay? We can double up foam tape. I'm going to be honest with you. I put this in and out of the envelope several times and never had any problems. I'm not even going to fuss. Perfect. But definitely, how are you going to finish this up?
Yes, I like that idea. So I like what you did, but I don't have the foam strips at my house.
Right.
And so no fret, right?
Right.
So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use the larger dimensionals.
Right.
I'm just going to take these and I'm going to go ahead and put them evenly. That's the key
here. Yeah, we're a big thing. Yeah, we're big on that.
Evenly on your tag. So I want to make sure, like you with yours, I'm going to make sure it doesn't sag in the middle.
Right.
But I want it to be able to withstand down all the way on the side. So you'll see I'll stagger from side to side, and then I'll go to the middle again.
Now hang out. We've got lots of other cards to share with you. I think you're going to love
and we
all
have
these
2 more
ideas.
giveaways. Any second now, the ho-ho should come.
Okay.
Ho-ho-ho should come back.
Ho-ho-ho. Yeah, we're just waiting. It's all on a timed little system here, so we'll just wait on that.
Yep.
All right, cute.
Taking those off.
Love that take your pick tool. Best
Yes.
$10 you will ever spend. Interchangeable tips, comes with a stylus tool as well. Well, there it is. Yay! Okay.
All right. You know the drill by now. If you're just now joining in, we're doing a giveaway. 4 of them tonight. We're on giveaway number 3. So if you're in the live chat, go ahead and put your first and last name in the live chat. Our software will randomly select someone in about 60 seconds. So now is your go time.
Yep.
There we go.
Oh my gosh, it's so stinking cute. Okay, so these are the first 2.
These are the first 2. Again, this one is not in your project sheet because
it's the bonus.
You have everything.
But you know, I love this. I love this because we can do something really simple on a tag. But you know what? Let's talk about one more thing. Mm-hmm. We don't have a sample this way, but you know what? Why couldn't you change the orientation?
Yeah, that way.
Let your tag go this way across the bottom. Always keep in mind that a layout is a great way to get your card started, and don't be afraid to turn it in another direction. Okay, do we have a winner yet?
Exactly. I don't know. Okay. Let's see when this thing pops up in just a second. You want to show them your next one?
Absolutely. So these are the first 2 that we made. We're going to put these off to the side. And let me bring in this one. This one uses the stamp set with a coordinating punch. This is from Penguin Place. It uses the Penguin Builder Punch.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there is one.
Lynn Hunt Fawns. I think that's how you say your last name. Lynn, congratulations. Go ahead and contact us at lisastampstudio.com. Click on that contact button. Just send us your shipping address and you'll get some fun goodies.
Congratulations to you, Lynn. Super excited for you. So just some designer series paper. This was from the Storybook Gnomes. It is sold out now. Please keep in mind, this can be used with anything you have.
Yes.
Don't think you got to have the exact same thing. Improvise. I will tell you, my big push here are these tag dies.
Exactly.
Best thing since sliced bread. I love it. So look what I did here.
So cute.
I took just regular white seam binding ribbon, which is in my online store, and I used the Stampin' Blends marker and the Pacific Point, or in this case, I think it was actually the blue, one of the blues, the Light Night of Navy. That's what this is. And I colored it, and I got custom coordination of the ribbon because I didn't have the right color.
Love it.
Perfect. Isn't that super cute? And I did the snowbank, very similar to Gina's. All right, what do you got?
Well, it's funny that you did snowbanks and used that designer paper because so did I. Right, this is the one I was supposed to demo this evening. So you'll see that it looks very much like the one I just did here. Yep. I just switched out the stamp set.
Brilliant.
With the snowbanks and everything. The snowbanks here, all I did was use a blending brush.
Okay.
And you'll see that, you know, this I just used build a scene with everything that was in the stamp set.
Cute.
I love this snowman builder. It comes with dies. You don't have to fussy cut anything.
Love it.
You
so
can,
cute.
Because they're so small, you can put these all on your die cutting machine at once and just run it through once.
Right.
It's amazing.
Love that.
Quick card making. Seriously,
so
5 minutes.
And so instead of Winkastella, you just brush some color on the edges.
Exactly, using blending brushes.
I love the palette, and I love how you brought in that green. That is so cute. It's so different and unpredictable, which is what I love. All right, I have another one for you. Not Christmas.
Not Christmas.
Okay, you have another one that's not Christmas too, right?
Yeah, I'm done with Christmas.
Okay, so this one is coming from Sweet Songbird. It's a bundle. So there's that Happy Forest Designer Series paper, which I am in love with. Remember, Stampin' Up! Specializes in double-sided Designer Series papers, which means you get a lot of bang for your buck. Themed on one side, generic on the other side. You can use them all year round. I fussy cut that, super easy. So I stamped it on colored cardstock.
Yep.
Cut it out. This is all from a punch.
Love it.
Tucked them in there. Made that little isn't that cute?
That looks familiar.
Yeah. So all I did was cinch mine. So this is through their single. And then I made that little tiny cute.
Adorbs.
Isn't that cute? All right. That's fantastic. All right. So now.
Oh. Last ho ho ho.
Oh, we had a ho ho ho.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Giveaway number 4.
All right.
If you're in the live chat, go ahead and put your first and last name. This is the last giveaway that we're doing for this evening.
But don't leave. We got another sample. We got two more samples.
All right. So put your name up, 60 seconds about the software will choose. Let me go ahead and show you my second card.
Okay.
So this is using Fitting Florets. It's brand new from Stampin' Up. You know, I've been saying this a lot lately, but I'm really into not stamping. Does that make sense?
No.
So I
You're talking to
love quick, easy cards. And this is one of them because this is designer paper.
So the dies.
All I did was use the dies. And you can see I built it up on some dimensionals there. I did color this, so I had color coordinating ribbon.
Right?
Just like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's super simple. I think I made this in 3 minutes. Genuinely.
Which is wonderful if you're making a whole stack of cards.
Yes, or you have a quick birthday you have to get out, or a quick thank you.
Right.
3 minutes.
Or quick Christmas cards and you need a whole bunch.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely beautiful.
And then
Absolutely
I have
beautiful.
one more.
Okay.
So this
Oh, wait. I think our name's coming up. Hold on.
I think you're right.
Who is our winner?
Let's see. I got to pull this guy up.
Who is it?
It's Sue.
Wisniewski?
Yes,
Wisniewski. I'm guessing.
Congratulations, Sue.
Hey, Sue.
That's amazing.
Congratulations to you. How exciting.
Go ahead and email us at lisastampstudio.com. Click on that contact tab with your shipping address, and we'll send you some fun goodies.
We cannot wait. Okay, last card. So remember, there's a total of 7 because this one
is not in your project.
Not in your project sheet.
All right, so this is my last card. I love this one. This is using Hello Ladybug. This is in the annual catalog.
Love it.
And I just love how bright and cheerful this is. This is honestly one of my favorites. This is using
Butterfly Kisses.
The Butterfly Kisses Designer Series paper. And what I love about this set is because it does come with a coordinating punch.
It does.
But what's easy is that the punch only makes a ladybug. But because these are so big, fussy cutting this is easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Yep.
So that's all it took, all of this.
Look at this iridescent ribbon. I don't think the camera's going to pick this up, but it is beautiful with those iridescent rhinestones.
Exactly.
Such a happy card, and it could be any occasion whatsoever.
Yep, exactly.
Fantastic. So
there we go.
Got lots and lots and lots and lots of cards for you. And as always, we totally want to know which one is your favorite. Do us a favor. Leave in a comment below. Now, if you have enjoyed tonight's live stream, stick around. I'm going to do a live Q&A with you so you can get your questions ready. If you'd like to participate in the live Q&A, I'd like you to type the letter Q with a colon and then follow it with your question. And then we can filter it here in our system and we can spotlight your question here on the screen. I'll do about 5 of those. Right, we'll answer them together, so we'll stay with you. If you do need to leave, there's a couple things you need to know before you go. Number 1, if you have enjoyed tonight's video, do me a favor and give it a thumbs up here on YouTube. It helps us immensely with YouTube. Additionally, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. Hit the subscribe button and the little bell and the word all, because YouTube is going to send you reminders about when I'm live next, and you're not going to want to miss it because there's a date change for next week, which I'll tell you about in just a minute. Head over to lisastampstudio.com, scroll all the way to the bottom so you see the word subscribe. And the reason is I have a free weekly e-newsletter.
You're not going to miss it.
You don't want to miss it because I'm going to give you a free project sheet and tutorial in that newsletter every week.
Yes.
No frills.
No frills.
Right, comes right to your inbox. It's just to just give you more inspiration. So please go ahead and sign up there. We would love to include you. Mark your calendar. It's going to be next Wednesday, which is December 14th, because we are kicking off the card class for the month of December. And I would absolutely love to have you here with me. Gina won't be live, but she'll be here moderating.
And it is the second night of our 3 nights of giveaways.
Yeah, you don't want to miss that. So more giveaways next week. So make sure you mark your calendar. If you need to go, I'm so glad that you could join us tonight. Thank you so much for being here, and Merry Christmas to you. Now, for the rest of you that are staying here for the live Q&A, Gina's going to use our little computer here, and we're going to start spotlighting your questions. So we're going to go up to the search bar at the very, very top, Gina.
Yes, I know.
And we're going to type in the Q and the colon and hit enter at the very top. Nope, you got to click up the very top up there. Software, always an update, always a change. And then what we can do is filter out everything else and get your questions so that we can answer them for you. All right, so Gina's working the mouse thing so we can get to the questions. And then we'll pull your question up here on the screen and answer it for you live. All right, Gina, you got one?
Hold on.
Okay, she said, hold on, Mom. All right, here we go. Rhonda said, do you still have the first card you ever made? Oh, Rhonda, I do not. And I really wish to this day that I did. I can tell you that I have some first scrapbook pages I ever made. Oh, and they're not
pretty. We should pull those out someday.
They're really not pretty.
We should pull
They're not pretty. Actually, I think you have them.
Yeah, I do have them at my house.
Yeah, they're hers. Yeah, they're not pretty. But I can tell you the stamp set, it was called Just a Line. and it came out with Stampin' Up! In 1998. So I've been a demonstrator for 24 years. It's been a long time. That's a really fun question. Thank you for asking it. All right, we're going to scroll for a couple more questions.
Beth says, Lisa, did you take any graphics courses in college? She didn't.
No.
I didn't.
No.
But I do make all the graphics here.
She does. So let me just give you a little behind the scenes. We get asked these questions all the time. I was never a teacher. I get asked that, number one.
Do get asked that.
I never was a teacher. In my previous life, way long ago, way before Gina was ever even born, I was an insurance broker.
Yes, you were.
Believe it or not, yet. And I actually fell into stamping as a hobby and fell in love with it and thought, I want to teach other people. But Gina has a college education in...
I have a film degree with a minor in marketing.
Hence why there's a YouTube channel now.
And in the studio.
But
yeah, so I taught myself graphic design throughout college. Had a good career in the corporate world with that and project management. And then I lost my job during the COVID pandemic, and then she hired me.
I did. I was like, no job. Perfect. You're coming to work with your mama. We have always stamped together ever since she was 5 years old. So, yes. I mean, it was a natural transition for me to have her here. But Gina is immensely creative and talented. Not only can you tell by her cards, but she does do the actual static graphics for Lisa Stamp Studio, and she designed the website. So that's a great question. We love when you ask behind the scenes questions. We are happy to answer them.
All right, Polly says, how do you know when to swap out the cutting blade on your trimmer?
Oh, easy.
Great question.
Yeah, great question and an easy answer. When you notice that you are sliding that blade on the Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer and your paper's starting to look frayed on the edges, that is an indication that that trimmer blade is no longer sharp enough. Now, I want to give you a trimmer lasting tip, okay? You know how you typically cut down or perhaps you cut up to cut? Start cutting in the opposite direction. So if you're one of those people that always cuts down, try cutting up. Because the blade is kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It's not actually beveled. It's got an unusual shape to it. So it's sharp on both ends. Try that. But by all means, change out the blades. The refills are inexpensive. In my online store, you can find them for the current paper trimmer. A 4-pack, I think, is $12. Yeah. I mean, you can't beat that. Yep. Nothing worse than a dull blade.
We go through them fast here.
A lot of blades here. Lots and lots of blades.
All right, Donna says, I used the small embossing folder on a Christmas card, and it leaves a line going down the middle. Is there a trick to not have that show? Yes.
The trick is cut your paper shorter. So let me give you a tip. Do you know how tonight, let me go down here to the down camera really quick. You notice how tonight we had the section here. So if you want to use a smaller embossing folder and you know that some areas are going to show, cut this panel narrower and then decorate the outside edges with either stamps or designer series paper, or in this case we used metallic thread. That's for vertical images. If you want to use that as smaller embossing folder this way to fill it, choose the halfway point, but be cognizant of where your focal point will be, which will distract from that line. There is actually really no way to eliminate the line because that comes from the compression of the rollers in your embossing machine in the edge of the folder. But there's ways to camouflage it, so hopefully that helps you.
Awesome. All right.
We'll do one more.
Yes. Ellen says, how did you learn to take the dimensional backs off with your Take Your Pick tool? There is a trick.
No, how did I learn?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be very honest with you. When I was at a Stampin' Up! Event, I watched it virtually. It was during the pandemic. I saw another demonstrator do it, and I was like, oh, that is brilliant because, you know, the arthritis in my hands can really flare up, and it's painful to pick things off with my fingers. But
there is a trick, though. Go to the down camera.
Okay, so I struggled with trying to figure out how to do it. It was kind of clumsy.
I don't know if you do it the same way I do it, but I can show you my way.
Let me grab a piece of paper. Let's take the back of our little mouse.
Here we go.
Oh, you've got one.
Yeah, okay, I got one. So I'm going to put that on here. So this is how I do it.
Okay.
So I actually pierce and then I pull down and out.
You have to get, I don't even know if they're going to be able to see this. You have to get that paper piercing tool in there to make a little tiny hole. So you want to pierce through the top paper and the hole. If you don't, and you're just trying to lift this, it's going to be really, really frustrating. But once you pierce this, it comes right off. And I'm going to tell you right now, not only does it wrangle all those little small backings, you don't have to peel anymore.
And it doesn't damage the dimensional at all.
No, not at all. That little tiny
So
hole is like a pinhole. Excellent question.
That was awesome.
And you know what? Isn't this the best part about stamping? We all learn from one another. I wish I could remember who showed me that.
Wait, we need to answer this one.
Okay, we have one more.
Judy did ask me if I have a cold. No, I had the flu. So
She had the flu.
The residual.
Yeah, that's why she wasn't here last week. And I said, don't breathe on me if you're sick.
But Linda has a fun question. We never get fun questions like this. What did you have for breakfast?
I'm boring. I eat the same thing for breakfast almost 7 days a week. It would be a Greek no-fat yogurt and 1 slice of toast with spray butter. I know. Boring. What'd you have?
I actually made a breakfast sandwich, like homemade breakfast sandwich this morning.
Showing me up.
My husband got like fresh sausage patties from the butcher. So I did that with egg and cheese. Put it on an English muffin.
Wow.
Takes 5 minutes, just like this card.
Did you hear that, Bob the Builder? I know he's listening. He's here about it.
Great question, though.
We are so glad that you could join us tonight. Thank you, he's screaming from the other room. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to having you join me next Wednesday. Have a blessed evening.
Bye.